Hello, everyone. This is the 12th of July. You are in the Gathering Convergence Room, home of the Heal the Earth Initiative and the Beacon Library. And today is Spirit Beacon, and we have Wisdom Keeper Seava with us today. And she is going to hold counsel for the White Buffalo Nation. Greetings, sister. Come on in.
Wopera, Tankashla, Wopera sister. Welcome to the Mending the Hoop Council, the Council of the White Buffalo, Rainbow White Buffalo, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation. And I'm Seava, daughter of Muriel and Philip, granddaughter of Sadie and Lillian, great-granddaughter of Yetta and Rose, mother of Alicia Claire and Misa Maria, grandmother of Lucy Jane and Charles Eric. I am the voice for the Casa Submissus, for Skywoman, Grandmother Moon, and Grandmother Earth. And I like to joke that I'm permanently possessed by Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and I walk under the arm of the White Buffalo Capital. So welcome to our council. Thank you very much to Shawnda and Earth Mother Network, and special greeting to Chief Phil Lane, who is a holder of the White Buffalo prophecy, and may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to the Wanukcala. And I'm also going to begin in the traditional fashion, giving thanks. I offer thanks to Skywoman, the first being in the physical world, our grandmother Moon, the beating heart of our Mother Earth, where people dwell, and to all the women from the youngest to the eldest, as they are the mothers of our nations, to the streams of water, to the pools and the lakes, and all the life that lives within, to the corn, bean, and squash, the three sisters of sustenance, to the fruits, to the medicinal plants, to the forest trees for their usefulness, to the animals that serve as food and give their pelts for clothing, to the great winds and the lesser winds, to our grandfathers, the thunders, to our eldest brother, the sun, the mighty warrior, to the winged creatures that live upon the winds, those messengers of life that reveal the Creator's wishes, and to the great Creator that dwells in all things, giving all things useful to the united people, and is the source and ruler of all health and life. And I know that that Brother Golden Wolf, I believe you read from the meditations. Did you not already read the today's meditation with Native American elders?
Did I read today's? I'll let you know if I read today's. Okay. I do always in my circles. I do always go over the daily teachings of our elders, and so no, have not read today's.
Each man and woman,
each man and woman is good in the sight of the Great Spirit. I did not read it.
Would you like to? If you have it open.
Yes, I have it right here.
Would you?
All right. Here it goes as follows. Today's lesson from our ancestors that were passed down to our elders, to us, hollow bones, so we can fill ourselves with knowledge for the future generations. Each man and woman is good in the sight of the Great Spirit. Our bodies are both spiritual, physical. At our very center, we are spiritual. Our bodies are built around the spiritual. The center is in the unseen world. Therefore, we cannot see it with our eyes. We tend to judge the body because we can see it. The body is not who we are. It's but a vessel. We can see the spiritual, the unseen, if we are spiritual ourselves. We won't see it always with our physical eyes. Usually, we grows good with our spiritual eye, introspection, the heart center. We will hear ourselves say, I know this to be true. Let us know. Center of all human beings is the place of good that includes myself as my very core. I can find this place by staying free of repentance, fear, dishonesty, and self-keeping motives. Later, keep us free this day of resentment, selfishness, dishonesty, fear.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
And I'm going to, the White Buffalo Nation is for the people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, red, who are here for the mending of the hoop and the healing of the earth. And I very much look forward to the return of one of our sisters of the, let's say, of the Golden Dawn, Antonia Lau, who is Asian, and also a special invitation to Lindsay Wei, who studies with the immortal masters of Wudang, and I look forward to her joining us. And also an invitation to, I hope, a sister who will return to our circle. She's been with us in the past, who is both original nations of Turtle Island and black, so to speak, white, black, yellow, red, and black. Sophia Stewart, who is the author of both the Terminator series and the Matrix, and is the living, in a sense, the oracle, as are we all. And also a special invitation, and I hope I bring good wishes from Martina Looking Horse, who is the eldest woman of the Looking Horse clan, and who has given her blessing to our sharing our claration for these nations that are being born, that have been born, that are newborn, at the behest of White Buffalo Calf Women and Skywoman. And as part of Skywoman's beingness, I also look forward to Sister Sipiko joining us. And as Chief Bill says, and as Golden Wolf was saying earlier, it is time to forgive the unforgivable, to love the unlovable. It is time for us all to come home, honoring the highest truths of all paths, short of human and animal sacrifice, so that this world, the living body of our mother, of whom we are all walking trees, can be restored and take her rightful place as a heaven realm beyond duality. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to just open in honor of the other paths. I'm going to share some wisdom from my friend, Master Chen, who was sent here by when he was a young boy, he could communicate with spirits. He's in China, what they call China. And when he was still a young boy, this elder woman master from Wudang, from the immortals of Wudang, sent a monk, walked across China to get Chen and brought him back to Wudang and taught him everything, including the Tao of immortality. And I'm honored to call him my friend, and the woman I mentioned a few moments ago, Lindsay Wei, I met her, and she's, I'm honored to consider her one of my teachers. But so let's see what Master Chen's wisdom says today. Great companions wish their partners happiness and wealth. Share this silent joy, because your partner is a part of your heaven. If you delete your partner from your heaven, then it is a broken heaven. Your partner is a part of the whole, so you can't cut them out. Dance and do not dance with the devil. Include the devil in your heaven. When you are in a happy place, you leave the devil behind as you leave the room. When you are in line with the principle, it is okay to leave and to not be affected. There is no need to curse because you are not in line with the devil's energy. Every action is in line with the original purpose. An invisible connection exists, even if you are 10,000 miles away. Respect human differences, be they cultural, behavioral, or character. Don't get infected. Just respect differences without judgment. The dialectic of self-judgment is judgment of others. Likewise, judgment of others is judgment of self. Always start from the origin, from your heart. Your original spirit is about nurturing and growing. So don't jump into conclusion and judgment. When every person embraces this concept of nurturing and growing over conclusion and judgment, the world is a much more beautiful place. People interpret religion and philosophy differently so as to exercise their ego and power. When our safety zone is broken, we use our power to destroy and resent. You can either protect or destroy comfort. Learn to respect the rights of others for an existence of their own choosing. Now there is no revenge. Now you can forgive. Look back into your childhood. Your parents did the best, given their capacity, wisdom, and intelligence. They did what they thought was right, just as you do what you think is right. Trust people to do their best. Go back and respect that they did their best. Don't take your own malcontent as continuing pain. Many people stay frozen. They blame their parents to justify why they are not happy today. Be happy and respect who you are today. Follow the golden rule and treat people the way you want to be treated. Today, honor your parents' ability. Don't judge or abandon because of their ability. Don't mistreat because of their ability. And I'm going to see who is with us. Okay, we have Erica. We have Eagle Eye, Golden Wolf, Kelly Shears, and Sandy Mahler. I'm going to ask, and Sister Red Clover, Kate Roberts, has entered the room. So namaste to everyone. I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves, and if there's something you need to bring up, and we will go back to that. So just try and take, thanks to in rooms, we go in the style of, but if please no fighting, no crosstalk, interrupt. We're not in a hurry.
Lisa, this is Shawnda. I'm going to step in here really quick. We've got some technical issues with your camera. You're sideways. If you could go back to the way you were, your audio was really clear there as well.
Thank goodness, Shawn, you're running this meeting because I just got booted and came back in. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to ask Eagle if he will speak next. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes. Hang on.
Skanangoa.
Tanse. Nia Kihumiskizik Napu, Eagle Eye Man, grandson of Flora May, son of Beverly Victoria. I was adopted into the Eagle clan many years ago by brown-spotted eagle woman, Anishinaabe, Duck Bay, Manitoba, as it's commonly called. And what would what would you like me to speak about, or just introduce myself?
Yes, introduce yourself, and if there's any particular topic that you'd like to assure that is on the agenda that needs to be spoken of to be brought to council.
Nope. Don't have anything.
All right.
Greetings all.
Then you can place the imaginary feather back in the center and let us continue. So let's see, next on my list, Erica. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah.
We'll just go in order of the participant list for those of you who are in the room. Thank you.
I'm a grandmother to spirit. We're very honored to be here with you today in the council. And since this is my first visit with your council, I would love to just sit and observe and absorb and say thank you.
Thank you too, Wopata. Shawnda, let's not forget you.
Okay. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to run two cameras here. And so I'm Shawnda. My spiritual name is She Who Weaves. I reside in the High Plains bioregion of West Central Texas on the headwaters of the Great Colorado, the traditional lands of the Tigo-Kickapoo and Lapanapachi. And I am the daughter of Mildred Mary and Mildred Mary, Minnie Jane, and Catherine Sue, and the granddaughter of many holy women and shamans. And I am of Sacred Triune, born on the 4th gate of the Avatar on February 12th. My daughter is born on July 12th on the 3rd gate of the Avatar, and my granddaughter Eliza is born on November 12th on the 4th gate of the Avatar. And together we are a Sacred Triune. I am a bundle keeper and pipe bearer for the Earth Mother Nation within the Golden Rainbow Warrior Bridge. And I'm honored to be here on the council. And I will pass the feather to Kelly.
Ellie. Oh, and happy birthday to your daughter. My granddaughter's birthday is tomorrow. Kelly, are you here?
Kelly, check your mic, please, sister.
Yeah, unmute yourself, sweetie, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, I'm going to just start by saying I'm so blessed and lucky. I went outside to work on some creative art, and my kitty was sitting on my pillow, and I didn't want to disturb her because she was there. And so I came back, I said, oh, I'm going to read. And then I heard my phone go beep, beep. And next thing I checked it out and this was happening. So what a blessing. So I'm the daughter of Beverly Mary Jean Blumenshine, the granddaughter of Betty McCorkadale Rintoul, and the great-granddaughter of Jeannie Spence Rintoul. I live on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish people in the territory of the Musqueam and Coast Salish. I'm very blessed to have been raised here in the on the great Northwest Coast, where the Hopi have actually, they consecrated 3 circles here back in the 70s. And I think that's why, you know, it's still not too bad here, but it's getting bad. It is getting crazy. So there's nothing that I want to present. First, I do want to be an observer, and then of course, you know, my path is always about protecting children and our youth from the lost paths. And I just really love what you read today, Lisa. It was really to reaffirm for where my heart is at with my own partner, who we have this separation, and just remembering, you know, the path is love.
Hi. So let's remember to keep the children on the agenda, the well-being of the children who are now in the faces yet beneath the earth, dreaming 7 generations forward. And I'd also like to invite you in the course of our councils to now and then read from your writings. Kelly is an amazing visionary writer, and she brings stories with the blessings of the Hopi and the relatives down under who recognize her. And Kelly, I consider she's one of my most special sisters. I don't know about other people, but I remember other times. And Kelly's, I call her the third Mary. She's very special. Welcome to council. Welcome. Thank you so much.
I love everybody. And I maybe I just add this. I really love that reminder from what you wrote. I just looked at a poem that I was writing, and it was about facing that darkness when I was a young child. And what you read reminded me that I need one more line, final line, which is to remember, because I did, even when I was I always call it standing at the edge of the kingdom of shells. I loved everybody. I've never, and I make jokes of it. I go, if you really want to know a real monster or a broken person, just ask them if they need a hug. The monster most likely will run away, and the person who's broken will receive, and because they do need the love. And then that monster, from who I am in my journey now, I know that's just showing me how far that spirit has traveled from its original source of, you know, the creator. It was a beautiful, I thank you for that.
Well, you know, obviously we're all subject to the fall. Otherwise we'd all be immortal. None of us would die. So we're all in the same boat. We're all purifying. We're all shedding and integrating, you know, and I think that's one of the great lessons of the yin and the yang, is the integration of the 2 sides, you know, and to stay in the middle. So thank you. So I believe we're passing the feather to Red Clover. Welcome.
Who can say greetings from the middle of the country? I'm on the eastern side of the Black Hills here in the Bear Butte Creek watershed. All the water runs from the Elk Creek down to Bear Butte Creek into Deadwood Creek, and then it goes into the Belfouche River to the Cheyenne River, finally to the Missouri from here. And so, yeah, I'm Cathy Jane Roberts. Say my Beyond Ego name is Red Clover. I have fun stories about Red Clover. And I apologize. It's been so hot that I've been getting up early to get things done. Lo and behold, I fell asleep in the middle of the afternoon. Doesn't happen to me very often. So I woke up and said, oh, I'm tardy. You know, the conversation of sovereignty has really been kind of front and center for me lately, and so I apologize my tardiness here, and look forward to what might be shared. You know, I just bring myself. All I know is my simple ways here in South Dakota, and like I say, I'm in the homeland of the Lakota, and hope some of that respect rubs off onto us all.
Hi. I have to tell people, most don't know that in 2017, our first round of teaching talks, when we were doing what was it, Slope, Save and Sustain Life on Planet Earth, Earth Aid Now, and Standing with Standing Rock, Savage Sovereignty, and Water Protectors. And Kate used to join us. And then when I was invited to come to South Dakota to Treaty Council, Kate was both my benefactor and my hostess. And I see her sitting, and I've been in her house, and which is so beautiful, an honor. And so much love to the Tzolk'in, and I'm really looking forward to more of our Lakota relatives joining us. But it was so funny with I came, it was the end of February, and I drove through a blizzard, and everyone was at Standing Rock in blizzard. And I drove all night, and when I got near to Red Clovers, it was dawn, and I had a past life memory. I was in tears because I felt I was coming home after thousands of years, felt like, from time immemorial. And I just want to thank the Wanukcala, thank Wankantanka, thank the ancestors, thank Skywoman, thank everyone who sits in council with us in the invisible realms for letting us help fulfill positive prophecies and bring heaven on Mother Earth now, honoring the highest truths of all paths, and that we stand on the sovereignty of Mother Earth herself, who is eternal. And it's that great fractal that goes all the way to the great central sun from which we all emerge. I like to think of us as fractals in Great Spirit's big party ball in the sky, pure party ball, diamond, to the blooming of the 1,000-petal lotus, to the diamond that we all are. Ahomatakwiyase, Wopata, Sister Kate, and I'm just fist bumping you, girl, through the screen. Be back. I love you so much. Okay, so let's pass the feather to Golden Wolf. I think you're next, at least in the participants, if you would come in and
Yes.
introduce yourself.
My pleasure. Welcome. I love you, everybody. Thank you for this beautiful session and the opportunity again for us to come together. Creator, keep aligning us. And she who weeps, keep aligning us. You're amazing. Blessings, family. I am David Golden Wolf. Masawi Sonny Madigan. I reside in British Columbia, North Vancouver Island region. My bioregion actually is the southern coast of Comox Peninsula in the Strait of Georgia, North Island region, BC, specifically Denman Island, eastern coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. The Pickles, Beaver Pond, and Swale wetlands are the components of the headwaters of our Denman Island, largest Class A salmon stream and overall in the Pacific Ocean in the Strait of Georgia, for salmon and herring spawn. I am on the unceded territories of the Comox, Squalaquam, and Pontotoc First Nations people, and I am an honored warrior of the Cowboys and Indians United Canada, Nationalist Thunderbird Party, and the CEO of all nations, Thunderbird Tribe. Reach me myself in the grandmother sister, I am her humble warrior and ambassador at large. I love you all, and I am glad to be here. I am Golden Wolf. Yeah, love it.
And
Thank you.
welcome to the council. And thank you for being here on Sipiko's behalf. It is
Yes,
appropriate. The Casa Submissus does not have to appear. So you're being present. You are
yes,
present for her. And so thank you,
yes,
Sipiko, for being in our circle. I love you,
yes,
sister.
yes, yes. That is her very emblem right behind me. That is
Yes,
the tribe, CEO of all nations tribe flag. Yes.
yes, yes.
Assinaabaago nation. Yes. One love, Isa Kitika Pinanas Kumokao Ichihitin Sipiko. Thank you.
We are waiting for, I know that Assinaabaago is, we have some grandmothers who should be joining us shortly. As I said, Martina, whose Lakota name is Wanukcala Wichokun. We're going to be meeting every week. And
Lisa, has
I'd
Sandy come in yet?
has whom?
Has Sandy come in yet? Sandy, have you? I stepped
No,
away to
Sandy
say,
is next. Sandy is next.
come on in, sister.
Welcome, Sandy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandy from Switzerland. I'm watching you from Switzerland, very, very far. It's quite late here, so maybe I go a little bit quicker out of this beautiful circle. And I'm very grateful to be here and see a lot of interesting people. Erica and Shawnda, I hear from our other circle. And yes, I'm thankful to have all these teachings and daily prayers with Golden Wolf. So it makes me a better person to share and spread love in another way, to get to the that the people feel addressed. And I want to say that every word or every sentence in every prayer that spread it out to the spirit, I give them power. I want to support you in each kind of way I can. My English, it's not so good. Maybe you understand me not so good. And yes, I choose love. That's everything I can say at the moment. And I wish you here a very nice circle. Yes. Thank you. That's all.
Lopera. May I ask if you're anywhere near Mont Soleil and if you have any association with the European rainbow?
No, no, any touching or contact.
And do you know much about your tribal roots over there?
Yeah, not really. Not the parents, they don't just go on, work and build houses, work, and they don't teach us that values like your son, even written something down. That's why I act from the heart, and that's why it's so difficult to survive in this world. But I keep stronger and stronger. Yes, I need to make researches if it's necessary.
Well, it's good to find out what original tribe and clan you are from, which is so much was lost during the invasions, and the Europe went through the same experience that Turtle Island went through first. you know, the destruction of the ancient Druids and Celts and Goths and everybody, you know. And so as Meredith Quinn, Musa, the grandson of the last great matriarch of the Dakota Empire, of the Americas Empire, likes to remind us, we are all descendants of original tribes. And that being that we are the living fruit of the trees of our families, all of that wisdom, the songs, they're stored in our cells, and they come through dreams. And I was going to circle back to Sister Kate, Red Clover. I just thought I'd ask you, since you found yourself asleep, if you had any dreams while you were taking your unexpected nap.
Well, honestly, I have to tell you that there's a lady named Amani White, and she has Soul Fire Sanctuary over there on Swananoa Mountain. And as your grandmother Gail just lives on the other side of the little terrain there where Amani is. So honestly, I think it was just a continuation that I'm in this waking dream anymore. But Amani, she used to be the medicine person for the 13 indigenous grandmothers. She plays the drum a lot. She carries the medicine of the drum. And Margaret Behan put her on the mountain, and in her vision quest, she dreamed that 220,000 people are dancing on this earth together, that spirit can enter in a new way. And, as we were in circle this morning, and everyone's celebrating, because Amani's this kind of gal, she'll sing the goddess dance the day you were born. She's got this little ditty that she'll sing for you, and she's really good about just coming up on the spot with these wonderful lyrics. Anyway, as we were celebrating Mani today, I had done this little ditty, and at the end, she has a peace chamber. There's a Ute elder who's still on this earth by the name of Joseph Rael, who was called around this world to, I hate this little phone, I can never see anybody, was called around this world to create all these peace chambers. So on these different ley lines, these peace chambers exist. And in my little song, my last, let's see, I got the thing, it's quite long actually, so I will spare you me singing. I'm celebrating you from my home place. You add so much to my, it's quite long. But at the end, as the chambers sing out in one song, then Amani can feel like it was done. So I sang this little thing to her, and I couldn't say the last line because it was kind of done and song it fit together, but it was, so inappropriate because Amani's kind of this live in the moment, live into the creativity. She's never going to be done, right? She's this little dynamo that'll never be done. And we were talking, she was saying, it's not important that people are one location or dancing together in one location. It's that we're dancing together all over this earth. So I think my dream was, that this dance is happening. We're witness to it in pockets and corners everywhere. So I'm just going to declare Spirit's going to play with us in a new and fun way. And as we move into this new chapter that, all of us are just bringing our, what do they call it? The chizzy, the collective creativity, that the collective universal human intelligence that we can all go on and on about. You know what I say? It gets to me and I, Meonia. Me and I is the anagram for I am one. And we all have our own unique stories that bring us to this moment. But it's all about where we go from this moment and the propel we get from the next step. And so that's kind of my, we're in this waking dream, I feel. And, we're creating the dream as with our actions. And so I'm dreaming that the 100th monkey of singing and dancing and praising Creator and loving this matriarchal space is with us.
Hi, hi. And I'm happy to see that we have more people who have joined us. So, and thank you to the administrators for letting them in. So let's go back up. We're going to go in the order. Erica has spoken. Let's see. So Assinaabaago, looks like you're not.
Sister, I'll bring them in. I'll bring them in. Antonia, please come up. I'll bring them in order they've joined. Come on in, sister.
Oh, okay, thank you, sister.
Hi, and thank you, Mikwich, for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you, Seava. I'm not sure what procedure is supposed to go from here. I'm
Okay.
outside the Toronto area, about an hour and 15 minutes in a rural area outside Lake Simcoe. And I've been working on matters like this for many, many decades. So I'm glad to see the work continue. And thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to come today.
Hi, hi. I just asked you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your lineage.
Sure. My lineage is from the Cherokee Nation. Actually, that is my first great-grandmother's grandmother. So the second great-grandmother is my lineage. And that people aren't aware of is also the Atlantean lineage as well, because the Atlanteans came at one of the times of disaster and continue to mix with the Cherokee and pass on that knowledge. So I'm honored to be part of that nation. And so it was very important for us as a child growing up that we kind of revered the Trail of Tears. And it was a big thing. And my grandmother gave me a little Thunderbird ring with the turquoise in it when it was smaller. And then when I got a little larger, the larger ring. But it's an important step that we continue to honor why we are here today. And I work with people from around the world to bring peace, knowledge, especially with knowledge, we can make more informed decisions as to what we do. With Mother Earth making her great changes, we all need to be properly prepared with faith in the Great Spirit to guide us and take action in the highest way for generations to come from here on. So I thank you for the opportunity. I also host a radio show for many, many years. Award-winning radio shows reaches over 200,000 listeners per show. And I've been have my own website that tries to coordinate these ideas to bring spiritual knowledge and wealth of knowledge to the people. And I have been, I'm not sure, but I will share, I have been a professional psychic. I have over 50,000 readings clients around the world. But it's not like your storefront gypsy psychic. I was given this gift from childhood on since I was born. And it's been cultivated in the highest way for the benefit of many others, the lives of many others. So it is the work that I do as well as quantum healing. That is a method that is an unusual method past Reiki master that heals things like cancer in 5 one-hour treatments and regular disease in 2 and 3. And I teach those methods to many, many others. All the knowledge we have, it does no good unless we share that knowledge. And that's the whole point. We have 8 billion people to reach, those that may resonate, those that may grow to become aware. And our duty is not to judge them, be patient, but to continue our duty in sharing that knowledge. So that has been my premise and how I live my life, continuing to this day. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. And it is my honor to introduce to the council Grandfather Alex Whiteplume of the Pine Ridge Reservation. Welcome, Grandfather. I'm glad to see you back online.
Wopila.
Skin and Goa. Honey Washe, welcome, my brother. Would you introduce yourself?
I guess I'm Alex. I'm from South Dakota. I would like to talk a little bit about the Mending the Hoop. I won't take too much time, but this idea came to us back in the 1979, 1980. And at that time, Wounded Knee occupation was over. We had gunfights, horrible fights. We fought each other. And we finally decided that we needed to bring peace. And how do we do that? And it was just weird because all of a sudden we went from assimilated way of living to all of a sudden we were thinking about how we were and how we are in terms of the kinship words, like Hunkashi, which means my sister-in-law, but Hunka means my sister. And so the in-laws had a she at the end of the word, and it was just funny because we laughed at ourselves, and because we made a poor imitation of our colonizers. We don't really make good white people as Lakota people, and so all these conversations came about, and how do we do it? And we used mending the hoop. We also said we're going to rebuild our nation. That was attached to that word. So we had many meetings, and when I grew up, my mother was a real strong matriarch, real powerful. She held the whole family together, and my dad was a airborne in the army, but she sure marched him around. But I grew up that way, and it was just second nature to be matrilineal, and so we talked it over, and then my wife was in ceremony, and she said that we had to bring back our grieving rituals. Before we could mend our nation, we have to deal with our grief, and it's a deep inner grief. And in order to rebuild our nation, we got to do it with clear mind, with good spirit, good heart. So we, my little brother and I, started what the idea of was going on a horseback ride from where Sitting Bull was killed and coming into Wounded Knee. And so we started that, and it started in 1986. Now, 1985 to 1986, I'd like to share with you that in 1973, Orville Looking Horse started his Sundance in Greengrass. And up there in Wambalee, my uncle Silo Blackcrow, he always had the Sundance. Never quit. It's always there every year. And then the Oglala Sioux tribe had a Sundance, and that was more for tourist attraction. Before, Uncle Pete Catches used to run it, but they could perform the ritual, but they couldn't pierce. They couldn't go all the way. And but in 1970, Uncle Pete pierced. He just couldn't stay away from it no more. So he was sort of fired, and then that's when Fool's Crow took over. And then in 1974, Rick Two Dogs started the Sundance here in Pine Ridge. And then in 1975, it was Crow Dog on the Rosebud Reservation. So around the whole world, there was only 6 Sundances, only 6 around the whole world. Nobody even knew about our ways. And but we kept it together and knew about them. So with that memorial ride, 1986, when we rode into Wounded Knee, there was a beautiful time. Nobody spoke Washichan. We all spoke Lakota, and there's only 19 of us. And it was just funny because everybody was over being Lakota to each other. And it was kind of silly, you know, but we outdo each other to be out kind. And it was such a good feeling. And when we come home, on the way home at night, so we'd build a bonfire. And around the bonfire, people would share what happened back then, what they knew, who told them this, and all this come together, and we start getting a bigger picture. And then on the 5th day, up there on it was called Red All Creek, Red All Springs. That was the day of the woman, and us riders, us men, we cooked, we served the women, we made the bonfire for them, we made them comfortable, and no man talk. It was just women. We didn't bother them. And so the natural chemistry occurred, and it was just a wonderful sensation. And so that first year, second year, third year, Lakota was predominantly spoken. And it was so nice to be amongst Lakota speakers, because today all the governmental structures, schools, churches, stores, everything is Washichan, everything's American. And very few Lakota ever spoke unless we got together and went under the shade someplace, and that's when we would talk and just reminisce. But the Bigfoot ride, that's the first year we rode into Wounded Knee in 1986. We went from those 6 Sundances to 12 that summer, just here on Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And I'm going to kind of jump over a lot of things, but in 1987, the second year, we had 28 Sundance ceremonies just here on Pine Ridge. Nowhere else was there Sundancing going on or ceremonies. And then in 88, I remember it was 35. And me and my bro Rocky and Percy, we was all sitting on a shade and did we do this? And we were trying to claim credit. And I remember my wife peeked out the window and said, you guys didn't create nothing. The spirits are pulling this together, and kind of reprimanded us. So, oh boy, we just, oh yeah. And so we didn't do that to claim credit for anything. We did that to rebuild our nation, to mend our hoop. And it was a long walk. We had a 25-year plan. But anyway, that 4th year, it was 44 Sundances. And then in 1990, the 5th year, we rode into Wounded Knee. Here on Pine Ridge Reservation, we had 54 different Sundance rituals just here on Pine Ridge. And there was a big debate among some of the colonized, the ones who didn't speak our language, who became full-fledged Americans. They dove into that melting pot, and they even made fun of us. And they said, there's only supposed to be one Sundance. How come there's a whole bunch? Well, there's 55,000 Oglalas. How can 55,000 go to one ceremony? Plus, everybody has their own dream, their own vision, their own feelings. And so you go that route. You find a holy man. There's no such thing as a medicine man. I want you guys to all know that. The medicine man, the way we know it, is in the IHS hospital, the Indian Health Service, there's a glass window and there's a little opening underneath. And so the medicine man, he pushes pills out from that little opening. That was our interpretation of medicine man. And today, everywhere I turn, there's a medicine man doing something. But anyway, these are some of our words and our ways. And so that 5th year, on that 3rd year, there was something like 6,000 people came to Wounded Knee to watch us ride in. And that night after we rode in, they wanted to have a meeting. So we went to Kyle. And at that meeting in Kyle, they cried. And they said, we had 250 years of contact. And we still remember some of our ceremonies. And some say the East Coast, they said, we had 500 years of contact. We don't know our language. We don't know our ways. We've been just totally run over and killed off through disease and lying. And so we heard these horror stories, and oh, it was sad. And some of us even shed tears with them. And so we decided, we said, well, we had a meeting. So, okay, Lakota, we're kind. We brought these ceremonies were brought to us by a woman, and the woman learned them, and then the woman taught us men how to perform these ceremonies. And so we want to let you use 2 of them. One's called Inikaka. White man call it sweat lodge, and that's okay. There could be 1,000 sweat lodges because they don't practice our way. They create a different way. And so I went to one because the Treaty Council at one time directed me to go shut them down. They're pretending to be Indians, they said. So I went to one up there, and I think it was in Vermont. And I didn't go in hostile, although I'm a general in hostile, that's what they called us. I went and I just was kind, and I sat there, and I didn't go in and participate. I just watched. And for instance, they used the number 8. They had 8 symbols that they cherished. And their songs were different. They're all in English, and they weren't our way. And so I said, no, that's fine. You guys, if that's the way you like it, and it's going to bring you love and bring you harmony, then no, continue on. Don't pay attention to us. And so I came home and I told the elders, and Chief Red Cloud, he's kind of glaring at me. And then I told this to him, and here he smiled and said, you're right. I don't know why we were so protective of our ceremonies. Our way was brought to us thousands and thousands of years ago, and we still practice that. So it don't matter if somebody wants to parallel, as long as it's not done our way, unless you're Lakota. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out. But 1990, when we came in, in 1988 to 1990, because we allowed them to use the inipi, which they call the sweat lodge, and then go on a vision quest on a hill, and bring your own ceremonies back, bring your language back. Every individual nation across this country has a purpose, and we all blend together to live in harmony with Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is living, Mother Earth is alive, and we're all destroying her real fast. So we wanted that harmony back, not just for Lakota, but around the whole country, and not over the ocean, but here on our land. America's always been our lands, and we had special ways here. So so anyway, just to make a long story short, that fifth year, 10,000 people were at Wounded Knee to welcome us in as we rode in. And there's 325 of us on horseback that rode from North Dakota all the way into Wounded Knee. And it was such a beautiful sensation. And so our ways have started coming back since 1990. And today, it just took a hold. And not just across America, our ways are being done, but in Czechoslovakia, they have some decent ceremonies, and Germans do, and French, and Italians, and even Asians. And but they always have a little bit different, just a little ever slight. So it's not pure our way, but we that's what we wanted to do, is to mend our hoop, to bring back our ways. And we brought it back so fast that today, what I say, 20 years later, it's a whiplash effect from bringing our ways back too fast. And everybody's just doing things crazy, you know. I'm not criticizing them, but it's not the way I worship and the way I do my rituals. And ours is not a religion. It's not a ceremony. It's a way. It's a way of life. And ceremonies, if you say that word, it kind of cheapens our way. And I always try to correct people gently at first. But if you do it in front of me the second time, boy, I'm going to get all over you and give you hell, you know. So anyway, we're mending our hoop, and we're rebuilding our nation. And what that means is the language. You have to have your language. Wakan, that's what the word for sacred ceremony is, Wakan. But in Lakota, that doesn't mean sacred. Wa is purity, and Ka is your blood vein. To have purity in your blood vein. That's what we try to accomplish. And me personally, in front of all you women, I'm just jealous of you. Us men, we have to go through ceremonies 7-8 times a month just to be equal to our women. And when the women, they're just purified naturally. So I'm just jealous of you. But women are the most powerful things in the world. And women need to be the ones that are the leaders. Us men, excuse my language, but we fucked everything up. And the women have to take back again and get controls of the whole world and protect Mother Nature. Because at the rate we're going today, in America, people are exiting America because of all this bad weather. Some towns are being just flooded out, and some are burning up, and some have bad weather. And we got to change this to get Mother Earth back to the way she was, so she could care for us. And every year in around April or June, we used to go to a place called Hihankaha. It's called Imitate Owl. It's the hugest mountain in the Black Hills. At one time, they call it Horny Peak, and then into Ultimate Wisdom, they call it Black Elk's Peak. But that hill was called Imitates Owl. That peak imitates the owl, because the owl, if you notice, he could turn his head all the way around, this way and this way. So the owl knows everything. He sees everything. And so to us, he's real sacred for that. He's a messenger. And so at that time, when we knew the clouds were getting ready to come back, we go up there and we held ceremonies, and we cry and we beg the thunders to come home with water. And so it's not just held on a certain date. It's whenever that feeling comes to us. So today, anyway, sorry I'm taking up too much time. I always tend to do that. I believe in mending the hoop.
You can go as long as you need to.
Yeah. Well, to me, mending the hoop is to rebuild. It's not just mending and continue on life. the way it is today, you have to change yourself, and everybody has to change, and that's a sacrifice you have to do. It's not my responsibility. I speak Lakota, I do all the ceremonies, and in 5 days, our annual family rituals are going to start. And I'm so proud because I go there and I sit there and I kind of just sit there and look important because I'm old now, you know, I don't dance or sing or nothing. And so I have to sit there and kind of look important. And last year I had 22 grandchildren that were at the Sundance and 7 great grandchildren. And I love it. And as a man, I accomplished more than anybody could do. And just seeing that was my success in my personal life. So I just wanted to share that much. And it's good to see all your happy faces. And we're all getting old together. And how do old people party? Because I haven't been to a party since 50 years ago. Is there a special way, or do we just kind of roll over and pretend like we're half dead?
Alex, do you
I'm just
remember?
teasing you guys.
Do you remember how the people say before first contact, people lived a very long time?
Uh-huh.
You're a spring chicken, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a spring chicken. I know you, and I have to say, I
Yeah.
was talking about you today. I always tell this story. When I was very blessed to get to sit in the room where Alex is and spend time with my brother. And one time, and I know very little Lakota, so when I do know words, I try to use them. And I remember one time I was there with Chaka and you guys were talking Lakota, and you would think I would, and I was just so happy to hear it. And you know, I used to tell you I wanted to start doing Lakota karaoke. It's one of the language. I think it's the language of the Americas. It's original and it's powerful. But anyway, this funny thing, I sat in Alex's and I was trying to tell him that the road to Crescent Valley is lined with sweat lodge rocks. But I used the word for buffalo. So I told Alex that the road to Crescent Valley was lined with buffalo. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I always
I
make
know
fun
it.
of myself for that.
Yeah, I know it. It's really sad today because we're doing our ceremonies and we have to sneak into the Black Hills and we have to steal our own sweat rocks
Oh,
and get
I'm
out there
so
before the
happy.
police or rangers arrest us.
If I had a car, I wanted to bring, because there's so many. I mean, they're popping out of the ground, Alex. I have them on Etsy, okay? I know it's not right, maybe, but I had this woman order 48 Tonkas. So I sent this woman a box of rocks. It was heavy. And I just don't have, because my plan was to come out and I wanted to drop rocks at Camp Morgan and also bring rocks home. So it's on, if I had a working vehicle, I would do it. Oh, and also we have a lady who moved here. Oh, you remember Dana Dudley? That lady we talked to about the movie? She moved here. She's putting a new roof on the building, by the way. But I don't, we still have people to come into the circle. But the thing is, on agenda for council, the situation with the Black Hills, Wind Cave, please bring those things forward because we're going to be meeting every week. And I know some people it's controversial, but I have acknowledged Martina as the eldest woman of the Looking Horse family. And our nation is also in her care. So, and in that regard, I'm going to take a moment because we're not in a hurry. We're doing this like a longhouse. We're not going to be here overnight, but we could if we needed to. So I hope everybody has refreshments. But Chaka Wian wrote this for me by hand. And we honor the highest truths, but obviously I work for the late for White Buffalo Calf Woman. And she asked me to do this because she was tired of waiting for you guys. And she wanted to do something new. And she wanted to be able to help the people of the 4 directions, white, black, yellow, red. Many of them have come back, have been, are missing and murdered of all over time, right? And they want to live right. They want to return to natural law. But anyway, if nobody minds, I'm going to read the 7 values of Lakota life that are the core of our nation. Wanji, Wochakia, praying, finding spirituality by communicating with your higher power. This is communication between you and Tankashala without going through another person or spirit. Numpa, Wahula, respect for self, higher power, family, community, all of life. Yamni, Waonsila, caring and compassion, love, caring, and or concern for one another in a good way, especially for the family, the old ones, the young ones, the orphans, the ones in mourning, the sick ones, and the ones working for the people. Topa, Wawijake, honesty and truth with yourself, higher power, and others with sincerity. Laptan, Wawakia, generosity and helping, helping without expecting anything in return, giving from the heart. Sakpa, Wawala, humility. We have a spirit, we are no better nor less than others. Sakoka, those are the numbers. Waksape, wisdom. Practice with knowledge comes wisdom. And I just have thank you, and thank you to your beloved wife, who you represent here, and to all of the Ocherisakoan. Thank you so much. I love you so much.
Right on. Right on. I'd like to make one last comment. You guys remember a woman called Elizabeth Warren? About 5-6 years ago, Trump was making fun of her. Yeah, she's a senator, I think, and making fun of her as Pocahontas and making fun of Indians. To me, if you had 500 years of contact, you'll have blue eyes and blonde hair too. So they shouldn't be ashamed of their Indianness, and we have to not criticize them. We have to have belief in them for standing up. And I just wanted to make that out. I support her, and I know she could be a good, strong Lakota. Well, I better not make a joke. She's a senator.
Oh, go for it. She needs it. She needs
but yeah,
it.
let's.
It's good for her.
Yeah, these are ways to mend a hoop, is to recognize those things. 500 years of contact, 400 years of contact, 300 years. The ones that were 250 years contact, they still have a semblance of their way. And we had only 200 years of contact. So we're still intact here. But the colonization, the assimilation, they had a bad impact on half of our people. And so we have to talk to our own people and try to get them to change. And some of them are the worst enemy than white people. So we got to try to break them of that. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to me. And it's good to be here with all you wisdom keepers or knowledge keepers, good looking people. Thank you.
Back at you.
Thank you, brother. And I would like to honor my brother Alex. He is one of the wisdom keepers within the Earth Mother Nation as well. Thank you, brother, for coming today. And we have one more. I'm going to bring her in. I'm not sure how to say your name, sister, so come on in.
Hi, I'm Assinaabaago. My English name is Jeanette. I'm Ojibwe Nation from Ontario, Northern Ontario. I live at the Great Lakes. I live on Serpent River First Nation. I come from medicine people, medicine women, my matrilineal line. My father's line is from the Shingwak. So I'm related to a lot of people. My ancestors go back thousands of years here on the Great Lakes in Northern Ontario. I'm Ojibwe Nation. And I know about the part of Mending the Hoop and following the Rice Trail home. I network with a lot of our people as nations. And I know that we got to work together and help each other. And I met Lisa a while back. And I'm fighting for our children up here in the north, right? We have a lot of children being stolen. My child was stolen. And there's a lot of sexual abuse that goes on, and that was in my family, and her father's family. So my daughter was taken that way because I've been fighting and advocating so hard. Yeah, so I'm learning a lot about law, international law, legals, lawfuls, Anishinaabe laws. I've been looking up treaties, finding ancient treaties of our people. Right now, I'm compiling about 5 different treaties, and I've already made declarations to this government at 14 different levels. I've been knocking on doors. I've been just getting doors slammed on me because like nobody wants to help out, right? Our chiefs are not doing anything. And I'm finding it's the women. It's the women that are the ones that are stepping up, like the matriarchs, the matrilineals. I work with grandmothers here, 13 Grandmothers Council we have here. So I sit with the tech elders, and they're trying to fight for the Mother Earth and mines, and they're trying to stop mining. So they're trying to stop the spraying. I'm trying to save the children. You know, we have this agency up here that's stealing thousands of children. They call it the Millennium Scoop. So it's the same thing as a residential school system because they're breaking apart our families. So I'm in a really tough struggle right now, going against a line of an agency, and I've been exposing them for what they are. They made $21 million just last year alone on our children. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm going to be 48 years old this year, and I'm learning really fast, learning a lot. I'm a ceremonial woman. I grew up Medewan. So I grew up in a Medewan lodge when I was a little girl. I've done fasting every year. I do my 4-day fast. I'm a ceremonial woman, traditional woman, cultural woman. I'm learning the language. My mother's a medicine woman. My grandmother was a medicine woman. I'm a medicine woman. I practice medicines. I avoided all vaccinations. I homeschooled my daughter. I was raising her Anishinaabe way, and they didn't like that. So yeah, it's a constant battle, but I've been doing it. You know, I got a lot of support. I got a lot of help, and a lot of people are helping me. You know, and we have those few good men out there that keep supporting us and saying, keep going, you know, and we go do ceremonies all the time. We go connect to the earth. We call our ancestors whenever we can to help us. And I'm really grateful to be here and to meet all of you. And my name is First Spirit Stone Woman, which is Assinaabaago. And I'm Turtle Clan. My mother is Turtle Clan. That goes to my grandmother, to my great-grandmother, to my great-grandmother, which was an Algonquin. She was an Algonquin woman as well. So I know my history of them coming up. And then I found out my grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather was down from Minnesota down there, and the war happened. So he had to shuffle all the way up here and come across the lakes. So I had a historian tell me a lot about my ancestral lines from my father's side, from my mother's side, from my grandmother's, like all throughout the background. So I know I'm learning still, and I'm open to learn and follow the ways and network with all of yous, you know, so we can all help each other and learn from each other. Just say me question. I'm grateful to be here.
Hi.
Yeah.
Well, and as many of you who know me know that my instruction has been to help in the restoration of original nations, matrilineal savage sovereignty, which also covers the European and other races, the barbarians, those who signed treaty. So I think it would be time for Eagle Eye Man perhaps to give us a synopsis of why this is so important, who we are, because many of the people who will listen to this conversation and to our council are absolutely unaware of what we're talking about and why this is so important in saving life on planet Earth. And
Sister, really quick, let me interrupt. Lois Looking Horse has joined us.
Oh, that is Martina. Well, let's let Martina introduce herself. Honey Washte, please come into the circle and introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, your face is big.
Okay.
I want to hold the phone back a little. There you go. Hello,
Yeah, he
beautiful.
will.
You can talk kita haya on Beth. How are you
Yeah,
guys all
down
doing? Oh, what's that? Me too. Me too.
Alex Whiteplume, much about 9 p.m. Some ya chunch na chahampi skuya ya charge him out of.
Oh, tuale.
Yeah.
Martina, now that you're here, Martina,
Yeah.
now that you're here, you can do the true opening prayer and song. I apologize to everybody, but Martina knows that I asked her to do that. While you're in, introduce yourself, and then if you could actually open in the true language, would you please? Thank you.
All right. My name is Martina Looking Horse. My legal name is Lois. And my spiritual name is Wawokiawian. That means helping woman. And sorry I'm late, but I'm really glad to be here with all of you. And I know Lisa asked me to open a prayer, but it's 100 degrees here. We're roasting. But there's a lot of people who needed rides and stuff, but I had to rush them around just to make some gas money because I was on empty. I really have some really bad hardships here. But I help a lot of people out, even though they can't help me out, I always have to help a lot of people out. Right now, the elderly meals, they're not serving elderly meals here. That guy quit, the head cook. So those women at the office, they go over there and cook sometimes for us, but it's not every day. So a lot of elders are starving here. So I just like cook beans or rice and take it around to people. And so that's how it is, trying to keep everybody alive. Some of those elders are bedridden. They can't get help for themselves. So I really feel bad for them. They have no car, nobody to help them. If they do, their relatives are either drunk or on meth or something. And they're just more into stealing the elders or strong arming them out of their pills or something, That's how bad it is. It's like really a criminal world we live in. But anyway, I just want to open with the prayers in my Lakota language. When we pray in Lakota, we pray for everything, the Womakashka, which means all living things on earth, including humans. That's what Womakashka means. So anyway, I'd like to start with a prayer. Wanukcala, Katia Topana Machpiano Chimaka, Akara Gaucho Hutaka, we can't come, Kamakataka Hituna Ushukilapie. Letona Ahipsat you can't to Kashla now, which chose me wash a Kiwapia was near Waspia. We talk not what Chantaganaka, Nataka wash day you can. Achbi China, Taku Shichagana Pahab use of Piet to Kashla. Nataku Iwoglaka the set you can you wash the Yuaka Piet to Kashla. Nataku Chim set you can actually get it to Kashla. That's a omni you have. We yanka be can't to Kashla. Taku. You won't look up to now yet. You took the Akokata Lakota. We I can't watch this. Kinashi now. My coach to the geek took the Helganajala. We would look to Tweka Shettas. You can watch him. Hatches a hochi choppy. Now, never can wash a kind of happy. You can learn, but the key wasn't typic take up such or nash. Mother Topol has not take up such or nash. Can't typic town such a nash to protect the. What the key chap such a nice to us gluing such a Christamini which active packing tapia to Kashla. Now what kind I hunko Gumpila Nako walk wash a kuchak up here. It's a little chimp this night. When it's not the how that's just a hochi chap you come to Kashla. Me titak when I mean me hot what they can't. It's just when it's not what you talk to him. Now what she took you walk you not talk a call. Walking up to Kana, walking at Tanka Chichap at Tunkashwa. Then I don't like Governor, when it's not you towers, and which I can when it's no walking, which I could have just all Chichap. How me talk was it?
Oh.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about some things here. First of all, I really appreciate Lisa and have a lot of respect for her because she's talking about matriarchal sovereignty.
And as I'm the oldest of the girls out of the Licking Horse family, out of Greengrass, South Dakota. My brother is the keeper of the sacred calf pipe. His name is Orville Licking Horse. But I'm the oldest of the girls, and I'm the after my mom died, I guess I'm the clan's mother of not just my family, but probably the whole Lakota nation. But I don't use that, you know. I don't try to exploit my title or anything. I walk a humble life, and I try to help as much people as possible, because my grandma, she gave me that name, Wanukcala, and that means helping woman. And it seems like no matter what happens, every day somebody has need of me, wants me to go take them somewhere. They have no food or they need food, you know. Little kids, they don't have no food. I take food to their families, you know. They might be doing stuff that I don't appreciate or care about, but I'll still help people out like that, you know. I don't have no discrimination against people, especially if they got kids that are in need, you know. So that's what I do here on the reservation. And I don't know if you guys know how hard these reservations are in Standing Rock and Cheyenne River. I go back and forth all the time because my mom and my grandpa are from Standing Rock. Then my grandma and my dad are from Cheyenne River. So I got two families in both places. So it doesn't matter which res I'm at. I'm always at home. So that's how it is for me here. And a lot of people know me, and I know a lot of people, I guess.
I'm going to turn my camera off and try and give you more of a stream. You're breaking up, freezing, Martina. Martina, perhaps you can. You're
Lisa,
breaking up.
just let her buffer back up.
Okay, sweetie.
And you turning your camera off will only help with your audio, not hers.
Okay.
She should buffer back up pretty quick.
Okay. Is she still with us?
Nope, I think we lost her.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
hope
going
she'll come
to
back in.
mention that I tithe. I've made a commitment on behalf of the White Buffalo Nation to tithe to the Chitwaakwe, and I'm doing that to help Martina. And so if you want to help Martina, help the people of the North Chitwaakwe in the North Dakota area, her PayPal address is lookinghorselois@gmail.com, and she uses that for gas and other things, and I can attest that she's doing what she says she's doing. And so you're back.
I'm here.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah, because we have a bad Wi-Fi reception. It's a tribal telecom thing, and it's a tribe, so they really have bad service on their internet. So we every once in a while it will turn our internet off, and about a couple minutes later it'll come back on. So that's what happened.
Yeah, I know when I was in Pine Ridge, I used to have to go to that one building so I could use the internet. You know, there was one place you had to go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on. It's really super hot, and it just says it's going to be hot all week. Right now we're in the 90s. It was 100, but I don't know. Maybe it's still in 100.
Yeah.
But it was really, really hot. I had to help this family out because they're the cop stopped their truck and their baby was standing up in the middle. The cop stopped their truck and made him walk because the baby didn't have a car seat. So I could run them. Sioux Village is like 2 miles away. It's called the Causeway. It's just water on both sides, just a road, and it's the longest walk ever. So people don't like to walk that, especially on hot days. But yeah, it's like really hard. And Alex knows, I think, about what hardships we have on the res. You know, people don't have cars, and the road between Fort Yates and Kennel is just full of big old craters, just huge. And if the cops follow you and you try to go around those craters, they'll stop you. Even though they go around those craters, they want other people to go around those craters. They think you're drunk if you go around the craters.
On the rest, the Lakota people are the poorest people, and they're the only ones that still speak Lakota and have their land. And all the ones who sold out and became Washicho are the ones that are well-to-do, and they make fun of us and say bad things about us, but I always feel bad for them. So, me Lakholia Wanukcala nalila yushkia miglonia headshell.
All right. He said he's happy that he's Lakota because he appreciates his way of life.
Hi.
Yeah, I guess it's really hardships, but yeah, I guess all the people that don't have phones and social media, they're the ones that are the real Lakota out there. They're hitchhiking and they don't have cars and they speak Lakota and they always need help. You know, that's why I want to help them. I want to declare sovereignty somehow. These guys already declared sovereignty. Phyllis Young and Bernard Peoples, all of them on July 14th, they said they declared sovereignty like 2016, maybe. So it's already been declared that Lakota's an independent nation, but it's not working out. So maybe they need the women to really stand up, you know? Because the women are one.
Yeah, over here on Pine Ridge, so older people are getting behind our youth. And so what the discussion is that we're going to create a tribe within the tribe. We wanted to get rid of the BIA and the IRA, but it's just we're under 18 CFRs, Code of Federal Regulations, and it's just going to take a lot of time and money to try to get those rescinded by the government. But it's easier for the United States to keep us in poverty than to allow us to succeed. So the younger generation, they're researching how to be Lakota within the Oglala Sioux tribe. And the Oglala Sioux tribe is a tribal council. I'm not Oglala Sioux. I come from a Wakan Oyate, it's called. And then the Wakan Oyate comes into the Oyukhbe Tioshpae. The Oyukhbe Tioshpae is part of the Oglala nation. And then we got the Tithuan Lakota. These are the 7 steps that we mentioned within our tribe. But the youth, I have faith in them. I'm 73 now, and I don't have the energy to be laying on a sleeping bag on the front lines of some direct action anymore. I'd rather be staying at home, sitting on my nice bed. And but the younger generation, they're stepping up now, and they have a good heart. So we support the youth, and I back them up every way I can. But that's the idea that they came up with, is to be a tribe within the tribe. And we actually don't even like to use that word tribe. If you look in the dictionary, the word tribe means a pack of wild dogs. So if I have to be a tribe, I always claim to be a Rottweiler, you know. But that's the common theme that's taking place here on the Pine Ridges. We want to be Lakota within the Oglala Sioux tribe, and eventually push them out and get rid of the BIA. Is the worst thing that could ever happen to us. They commit genocide, and they're still here, and we just can't get rid of them because of all the CFRs and how they're protected by the huge bureaucracy. Anyway, sorry I barged in, Louis.
No. I'm glad you're letting them know what's going on, because that's the way I feel too. Even if I'm just one person, I'm like independent of the government. I want to like go against the government and stand up for the people, get all the lands and the monies back. That's the whole thing, is to get all the lands and money back. I don't know why we're even under congressional statutes to begin with, because that's just playing into their bullshit, you know, their BS about being a sovereign nation. Because in I read in a history book, 1804, that the Lakota went to, they had land in Biloxi, Mississippi. That's how far they had land. And they said in Biloxi, Mississippi, the headwaters of the Mississippi River in 1804, the United States, there were 13 colonies, and they asked the Lakota and all their allies to come and recognize them as a sovereign nation because the European countries wouldn't recognize them as sovereign. So we're the ones that gave them sovereignty to begin with, you know? And now they put us under their prisoner of war status.
Right.
So there's a big
One thing
there, you know?
Yeah. One thing that people don't understand, even our own people, was when Putesami brought that chanupa to our women, and the women allowed us men to do those ceremonies. All the other tribes, they didn't have no spirituality. So they came to us crying. They wanted us to hunkah them so they could see how beautiful we lived. And there was probably some violent times, but once the chanupa came, we became spiritual. Just the chanupa kept us peaceful. And so we hunkah'd certain bands, and you go from where up north where Canada is, all the way down to Florida and Texas, we hunkah'd all those tribes. So that's all Lakota territory. And it always pains me. About 20 years ago, I went to a meeting in Rapid City. It was a treaty meeting. And I saw by Uncle Chief Red Cloud and Uncle Johnson Holy Rock. They were sitting there. And here a young man from the Northern Cheyenne Reservation jumped up and he said, "The Black Hills belongs to the Cheyenne Nation. I'm from the mighty Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation. But the Sioux, you stole it from us through treaties." Oh, Uncle Oliver and Uncle Johnson were angry. So in Lakota, they told me how the Cheyenne came here. And so, and then they said, "Go ahead, you speak Lashicho good and you speak Lakota good. Go talk to him, chew him out." So Ata, when he got done talking, I stood up and I did reprimand him. And I asked him, I said, "You talk like you're a sovereign person from the mighty Northern Cheyenne Reservation. When the Lakota, you should say, I'm the Northern Cheyenne Lakota, because we hunkah'd you. We allowed you to use our chanupa ways." And so he got embarrassed. And I told him about our holdings from the land all the way across America. Everybody who uses the chanupa were hunkah'd as Lakota at one time. And anyway, that Northern Cheyenne man, him and his delegation, they got mad and they walked out of the treaty meeting. But word got out fast. And here within 5 months, the keeper of the hat from the Northern Cheyenne, I can't remember his name, he came to visit me and he brought me the hat to look at. And I'm not going to tell the story about how the Cheyenne came here because it's a long story, but they're originally from the Georgia area on the East Coast. And I didn't really believe that wholeheartedly till they showed me the hat. So that hat, it's beaded. Remember, like Abraham Lincoln's hat, top hat, small brim, and goes up. It's like that, and it's totally beaded. It's beautiful. So when I seen that hat, then I knew that they originally came from the East Coast, and they weren't really Plains tribe like us. We've always been here. But I just wanted to share that much, that when we got a band, and if they don't remember it like the Northern Cheyenne, what should we do? Maybe we should tell them, just be Washicho. You don't believe it. You don't know your origin. Just go be Washicho. Get the hell out of our way. You're holding us back. Maybe we should start saying these things to all the bands that we hunkah'd and they forgot. And they want to live on their mighty little Indian reservations. Lila hina unsik sab. Anyway, sorry I brought you in, Lois, again. I'm not a politician. I just wanted to get that in.
My beloved elders, pardon me, my beloved elders, Sister Seava has a comment.
Well, it's just I've been doing recordings of the Great Matriarch by Musa, and now I'm in the middle of recording the Dakota Proclamation. And I don't know if either of you have had time to listen. I figure, it's a lot easier if I record it, because then I really hear it and I really learn. And I mention it because he talks going into the position that it's in. And it's funny, how all of us are brought together by as far as I'm concerned, is the divine feminine, because the only rock that I live on is Grandmother Earth, and that's the divine feminine. And that's why, in our declaration, we're standing on the sovereignty of Grandmother Earth, Grandmother Moon, and Wankantanka, with respect to others. But so that leads back, but and a final anecdote before we go back to, I'm going to ask Eagle. It's so funny the way that I met Alex, and Alex, I need to start to use your proper name, and because that is your true name. But in any case, because I was searching for a way out of what the rainbows referred to as Babylon. And I had a lot of, I was studying the Patriot movement, but I was always uncomfortable with it because their constitution, Indians, Black people, and women weren't even considered whole people. And you can't really fix that. And being a tribal woman, for lack of a better word, full blood myself, Jewish, and lived outdoors for 9 years. I'm not particularly interested in Greco-Roman government in their mind control. I prefer, I found myself when I lived outdoors and slept on the earth and became a real woman. So one day I was on a phone call with Anna von Reitz, who some people know, she's the state national movement, common law judge. And all of a sudden, this man with a British accent started speaking. And he started speaking about international law and matrilineal savage sovereignty and the fact that savage means those who live amongst the trees. And my ears perked up. And I connected with him. And we did that first conversation on savage sovereignty. And we started, and Standing Rock was happening. And Eagle and I would talk and go, oh my God, we could see what was coming because we knew that the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota are prisoner of war Indians and that they are not truly sovereign any more than Herod, once he sold out to the Romans and Pontius Pilate, they were henchmen, just like the federally recognized tribe governments. They're henchmen. Same thing. So my people have been dealing with these, I won't use a profanity word, begins with an A and ends with an E, fill in the blanks, for 2,000 years. And I don't want their stuff. My people, before they destroyed our land and got our people complicit, we were in alliance with the people over here. We had our songs, our ceremonies. We were matrilineal. We were tribal, and that's, who I am. And so I would recommend, if you haven't, to go to the YouTube channel and listen to the Dakota Proclamation, because he explains point by point why you don't own your own land, why, what has happened. And now we're going to get back to, I'm going to ask Eagle to summarize. And obviously I will repost, I post that link all the time he does an incredible job of summarizing the law. And so anyway, Eagle and I were meeting and we started inviting people to the council because we wanted to help. We saw even before they, unleashed the force on the people that we knew it was coming. And we knew that since the Ocheti Sakowin wasn't truly sovereign, that the allies were going to get arrested and had no protection. And so it was kind of funny. We look like two white people. Well, obviously, not obviously. And I tell people, I mean, my daddy always told me I'm not white. I'm Semitic. I'm not, I can pass for white, but I'm not white. I can't speak for Eagle, but that's the other thing is the Romans who were, according to the Mayans, and Alex knows this, I told her, and Martina knows, when Jose Arguelles released the dream spell, the Mayan calendar, in the introduction book, the Mayan elders made sure that he related to everyone that the Romans were space invaders, and they came here after they finished mining what used to be the planet Maldek, which is now the asteroid belt. And they apparently look white, so they give the white tribes of Europe a really bad name, but they massacred them. And just like, you know, like Meredith says, the former, like, okay, when it was the Americas Empire and they stole the name America, that the headquarters of the Americas Empire was in the Twin Cities. He gives the exact location. And they built a hospital or something on top of it. They did the same thing in Europe. So the nice thing about what Musa has gifted us is that we can reclaim it. It still stands. And it was prophesied, I'm sure Alex and Martina know, that the people of the North would awaken first, the people up in so-called Canada. And so it's happening. We have Sipico, we've got Jeanette, we've got all kinds of movement up there. And I think in a way it's a little bit to humble the Oceti Sakowin, because being the people that you are, the keepers of the pipe and the sacred teachings, it's easy for you to get proud, you know? And even with all the sun dancing, and Alex, thank you for explaining, because I have heard a gentleman contacted me, which was really odd. He had my card from 2017, and all of a sudden I get this call from this man from home, and he was saying how there should only be one Sundance. So I had wondered.
Sister, I want to remind you that Eagle Eye is in the spotlight with you, and we are at 10-minute countdown. So please be aware of our time.
Are we actually closing?
Yes, we have a weird 10 minutes. We have other things. We have co-creation circles on One World tonight.
I see. Okay, well, I'm going to also then let everyone know that we're going to also continue to have our councils in addition to this, so that, because we don't have a time, our councils generally don't have a time limit. I thought that you had given us open space at the end.
Well,
so Eagle,
as I just mentioned, we have a co-creator circle that is already booked for tonight. Normally there wouldn't be a time limit, but we do have other obligations that have booked in tonight.
All right, well, then this will be something like a cliffhanger.
Right.
So to speak. So everybody's gonna go, oh my God, how are we gonna fix it? And so I will let everyone know. I'm gonna post a few things on Facebook, links to study, because Eagle does lay it out. But that's how I met everybody, was because of that program that Eagle and I did. And then I met my late brother, Gary Rowland, Chief Fire Lightning, and I got invited to Treaty Council. And so I, oddly enough, got to help bring the teachings of Musa back to his own people. And with all due respect, I still maintain that we go back to the original Oceti Sakowin. And I know everybody says they recognize the name Sioux, but my people are not snakes. You know, I speak on behalf of she who I work for. So since Eagle, do you want to say a few words, and then maybe Martina or Alex or Jeanette's a singer too. If someone would do us the honor, who feels called by spirit, to do the closing song in an original tongue, I would appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. I'd just like to say I'm very humbled to be here to tell you what I know. And I'd also like to clarify everything I've learned that I'm speaking of. I learned from Meredith Quinn's teachings. And he was an international legal advisor, registered at the United Nations as an international legal advisor for the Iroquois Confederacy. And he wrote a lot of works, like a 3-foot stack with papers, different books and things. And I read them all and I understood what he's saying. And it was a lot, very, very, very smart man in many different fields. But the beauty of his knowledge as well is that he was also raised by his grandmother, and she was the last head clan mother of the Dakota. And so he had knowledge passed down to him that was unblemished, untarnished by the Romans' propaganda. And I'd like to thank Alex for his words. Much appreciated. I love what you said. It's very true and totally agree with it. And I don't think you need me to tell you, you are, as Indians. People are, but there are a lot of people that don't know who they are, think they're Americans or Canadians, etc. The thing about it is, it's all tribal land, and it still is tribal land. The Romans are just presuming and assuming that they have the title to it, that it's their land, and they don't. And it is actually a very simple matter to take it back, but you've just got to reform your ancient original governance system, which is, as Alex said, a matrilineal. And this applies to anyone, everyone, because it doesn't matter who you are the direct descendant of a legitimate tribe and government that has signed treaty in the past. Whether you're red, white, yellow, black, you come from a clan and a tribe, because that's what was here in the beginning, which is also why it is the supreme law of the land. The women are the law, literally the head clan mothers. In the English, it would be a queen. To them, in their language, that's their sovereign, is their queen. They show you all this stuff in their movies, TV series, like the Game of Thrones, for example. If you pay attention, it's never the king who's in charge, it's the queen. The old saying, the power behind the throne. The king's just sitting on the throne. He speaks on behalf of the head clan mother. And the true chief picked by the head clan mother is just a servant of the people. He's there to help the people. And as I said, they show you all of this lore in the movies. And if anybody's seen the movie Avatar, that movie was all about customary international law. How he joined, they called them savages at the beginning of the movie. It's not a derogatory term. It's the correct legal term for a sovereign Indian. It means if you're a savage, you've got a clan, a head clan mother. Clans make up a tribe, and a tribe is a sovereign nation. You can look in Webster's 1828, look up the word tribe. A nation of savages. Savage means the same as barbarian. The Romans, you watch the movies of Romans, who were they fighting? Barbarians. Tribal people. So we've all got the same problem as these Romans, going around killing, raping, pillaging tribal peoples and stealing their land, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. The Americas, as you know it, is part of the Roman Empire. So is Canada. All the civilized nations of the world are all the Roman Empire. I say that because the person comes from Rome, and if they're all... See, the thing, none of this is hidden. It's in the words. They're all civilized nations. And if you look up the word civil law in a law dictionary, it says civil law, Roman law. So a civilized nation goes by Roman law. It's a Roman nation. That's their legal system. They use persons. See, a person is just a thing, right? We're all living beings. A person is an artificial entity. It doesn't exist. But this is a lot of people don't know that, and they think that they are a person rather than the fact that they have a person. But I know time is short, so I just wanted to say, like I said, I'm actually honored to be able to talk to you. And the knowledge I'm conveying, it's not my own, although I did do a lot of work reading their white man's law dictionaries. Once I figured out their language is the key, the semantics, I read a number of the old law dictionaries from A to Z, like literally starting at the word A and read to Z every single word, just like you would read a book, right? Because if I was thinking, well, if you're going to talk to them in their language, one ought to know what their language, the terms mean, the words mean. So there are things in their language called words of art, or the terms des lays in French. And these are like the magic words, words that mean one thing only. And some things you can only express by using that one term. No other combination of words will give the same meaning. So you literally have to know the terms, their language, and it is a deceptive. The white man speaks with forked tongue is very true, because English and legalese, although they sound the same, are two totally different languages. When you're dealing with the Romans in their courts, you're using legalese, but you think you're speaking English, and you're not. They're two different languages. They sound the same word, but it has a different meaning from what you understand it to mean to what it legally means. But anyway, it's very easy to take it all back. If everybody were to organize themselves under their matrilineal system, know their clan, first thing to being tribal is to know your clan. So you get together, that's along your descendant is down the matrilineal line. Your clan comes from your mother, and you organize in that way. And then you just notice them that you're here, you're still here, and you can take back title. All of what they call North America, Canada and the States is still Indian territory, literally, not figuratively, but literally, with the exception of 10 square miles that was deeded to them in the proper First World fashion by the American Indians. So other than that, it's a matter of people really knowing who they are as original beings and going by their original way. As Alex says, it's a way. And it actually is religion as well, because a lot of people have a misconception about that term. Religion just actually means law. And a law is something that you're bound by. And what you're bound by is what your beliefs are. So if you believe in the matrilineal system, then that's your belief. That's what you're bound by. That's your law. That's your religion. It's not what everybody else, oh, I'm spiritual or not. If you're spiritual and you have a spiritual belief that you're meant to do something, like smoke the pipe in the morning, well, that's a religion, because it's your law, because you're bound to do that, because that's what you believe that you're meant to do. So people get hung up on that word, but they shouldn't, because it just means law, and your law is what you believe you're meant to do. So anyway, I'd just like to say hi to everyone. And I think the creator has a sense of humor, sends a white Indian to teach Indians about Indian law. But,
I want to jump. Thank you so much, Eagle Eye. Sister Wolf, I'm going to make you, Sister Wolf, Seava, I'm going to make you co-host really quick. I just looked. The event starts at 7, not at 6, so we have another hour.
Oh, thank
But
goodness.
I know I'm going to jump up and grab something to eat. I think Erica's still
Okay.
here. She can watch the door for you.
Good, thank you. Wanukcala. All right. Let's collect, go around the circle, and if anyone has questions or comments as we move forward. I'm also, Alex, have you did I send you the declaration for the White Buffalo, Rainbow White Buffalo, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation? Have you
Well,
have you
I
heard
don't
this
believe so.
radical All right, I'm going to read, well, okay, since we have time now, Hugh, Alex knows, and everyone knows that, well, may not know, and the people who are watching this won't know, that, like my Lakota relatives, I hear, especially after I went and lived outdoors for 9 years, I hear the voice of spirit, the small, still voice. And I had left, as the rainbows would say, I had left Babylon behind. I had no intention of helping the New World Order destroy the earth any further. And so I took the risk. I sold everything I had ever owned. My oldest daughter, who was born in 1988, was 5 years old. And I went on the spirit road, and my teacher came to me and took me out into the wilderness and rebirthed me. And my name is Seava, which is my non-straw woman name. And in Hebrew, it's probably pronounced Chava, and it means mother of all life. And I consider that my connection to the original mother, to Skywoman, of whom I am also a part, as are all true women. Anyway, once Eagle and I connected, and you'll hear it, and if you listen to the first teaching episode, I was like, well, how do I get restored? How do I do this? And it's really funny because I'm going to add this, but and then I became a spirit woman teacher within the Rainbow family of living light, and I did privately starting in 1996 through 2003, prayers and ceremony quietly that I was asked to do and given the words and what to do by Great Spirit. But I knew we couldn't just get free by holding hands, standing in a circle and going Om. That wasn't going to do it. And so I was on a walkabout last year. So we're in the White Buffalo. Anyway, how did I become? So I'm living in Arizona at a community, a raw foods community called Wind Spirit Christmas Star. And I became pregnant. And I had been told by my teacher that I was going to have one more child. And then I was in the main house and I saw a note on the refrigerator that Miracle had been born. And the little voice said, you're supposed to go have that baby near where Miracle was born to show that you stand with White Buffalo Calf Women. I didn't know anything about anything, but I listened because I've had visions, and they, I know when it's the voice. I learned to differentiate between the voice of spirit and my own mind, because I would never have thought of that. But in any case, we did. And my youngest daughter was born July 3rd on a farm in Downing, Wisconsin, in a barn in the straw at 2:00 in the afternoon. Because I said numerically, I wanted her to be a 9. Don't ever tell her. I was fully dilated for like 4 hours. But thus was born for me the White Buffalo Nation, which meant that my family, that I had stood up to stand with the White Buffalo Calf Women for the mending of the hoop and the healing of the earth. And again, it's like I'm like Mrs. Magoo. I didn't know anything. But as I've come to know and be working on helping the Ochedi and all the people of original tribes, white, black, yellow, red, and all of our relatives of the air and the water. Because everything is oppressed. Whether it's the fish, the birds, everything, the trees, the air, and now they want to go and once again and go off to the stars and take their degradation into the rest of the waterverse, which to my understanding, you know, this little section of the waterverse was under quarantine so that it didn't spread, and that most of the waterverse actually is still harmonious and lives according to natural law. But anyway, you know, we incorporated as a Nevada nonprofit up here in August of 2004. Dot I's, cross T's. You know, the land here belongs to the White Buffalo Nation. The land here in town and the 8 acres, the Umbleches site. And I went on well, it was a drive about because it wasn't a walkabout, but I went and stayed with a Mohawk lodge keeper last summer in California, and spent time in Oregon. And then on my way back, I stopped in Winnemucca and made alliance with the Paiute chief, J.J. Eyre, and stood in solidarity with elders who had unlawfully been kicked off of their home. And I was driving back on the 80 to Crescent Valley to New Segovia. And the little voice said, "It's time for you to become a nation." I was like, what? Like, yeah, it's time. And lo and behold, as time went on, Eagle started talking to me about it. And others in my council circle, a man who's not here today, who we call Sav, he said, you just do it. You just do it. And being that I've worked for, you know, that I try to be a Chanupa, a hollow bone, that when I speak or write, you know, that it's not my words, that I listen and I write or I speak what I'm supposed to speak. Some time went on and I cleared myself, and I'm going to read the first draft of the declaration. And then I'm going to read the current draft. And I also have to tell you that Martina, I sent it, you know, I was like afraid, you know, because initially when I moved here, I live in the same town as the late grandmother, Carrie Dan, who I'm so honored that she let me call her mother at the end. Because when I first got here, she used to call me that white buffalo bitch. Because she didn't know if I was just trying to culturally appropriate, you know, and make money off the Lakota or something. Anyway, she found out that I'm a, you know, crazy spirit lady, like she was. And I have her rocking chair, which is really an honor. Anyway, I started releasing the declaration right meetings Jeanette was at, so this is perfect. And I've been getting a good response from other women up north. In fact, one of the clan mothers, when I read it, you know, she said it gave her shivers. Ability is Rainbow Madonna. And my responsibility is that every person who has dropped in so as to help not kill Unchimaka is my family. And when they're sleeping on the street, when the cops are harassing them, when they're hungry, when they're self-medicating with drugs and alcohol and practicing lateral violence and all the same problems that original nations, thanks to the residential schools, the unspeakable horrors, as we've all been raised in an ocean of pornography and degradation. to turn us into beasts, into monsters, into human beings, and human. And so I wanted to let everyone know, and so I finally had the courage to share it with Martina. And I told her I felt that with the rainbow gathering, I'm trying to protect the people. And the two-row wampum still exists as long as the rivers flow and the grass is green. The sovereign original nations empire is waiting to be reborn. And I am leading my people to that promised land, which is the original way, the natural law. And so that's why I've said for years, the White Buffalo Nation is for the people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, red. If you're here for the mending of the hoop and the healing of the earth. And we have 3 levels. Rainbow Buffalo Nation is for anybody coming in off the street. Anybody. As you know, it's Lakota, Nakota, they're a family, they fight. Sometimes they talk, about each other. But Chief Phil has been really good, and he's actually have to micromanage because I'm doing my own, and it's a big job. So and take this to the rainbow people. And I have to tell you, it's been really funny. I've been hanging out in this everybody's chat room, which I've been sending everybody the link to. And Jeanette went in there by accident. And obviously they just did really, they need to learn, could be. They don't audit. It's not like you have a belly button, therefore you can be part of the Rainbow Buffalo Nation or the Rainbow White Buffalo Nation or the White Buffalo Nation. So basically it's like they'd come in to the Rainbow Buffalo Nation. We want to know everything that's wrong with them, not because we're nosy, but we're trying to heal them. And then they have like 6 months or whatever to start to get, because sober Indians are dangerous, and we want every dangerous in the good way. And then they'd be qualified to Rainbow Buffalo Nation as a mission statement. I'm sorry to take this background drafts of the declaration, and I'm going to read everybody just for the record. I wrote this. This is from what is that? 22 years ago. Oh, and that. Oh.
Lisa, let me jump in here really quick.
So here's our
Lisa, can you hear me?
Statement.
Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sister, you might
Yes, I can hear you, Shawnda.
Okay, then let me have the talking stick for a moment. Sister, you're freezing up. You might turn your camera off because your audio's freezing up again.
Okay,
you also have Moon, who has joined the circle. Yeah, I don't know if you want to call Moon in to have his thoughts.
Okay, I will, but not yet. I'm going to do what I need, and then, yes, and welcome, Grandfather Moon. So right now I'm going to read to you the standing mission statement for the Rainbow White Buffalo Nation, which the Rainbow White Buffalo Nation seeks to embody the spirit of the white buffalo woman, prosperity, and assists in intertribal harmony between traditional Native Americans and non-Native people who are also tribally, and seek a place in the tribal councils of America. The Rainbow White Buffalo Nation association for self and living in sacred community. The Rainbow White Buffalo Nation advocates for the needs and rights of nomadic people of the Buffalo Nation envisions and assists in the development of communities for nomadic youth, families, and individuals, communities with gardens, yoga training, and healing through diet programs. In working for the healing of the earth and the mending of the sacred hoop, the Rainbow White Buffalo Nation seeks to be a voice and vehicle for the earth and elements and those people and creatures disenfranchised by being mute and or poor. And I'm not going to take the time right now to read the Native Natural Spiritual Right to Camp initiative, which we're bringing back forward because of the Supreme Court's recent abominable decision criminalizing homelessness. But we are going to stand up to, and maybe rewrite it a little, but it's a lawful document. But now I'm going to read the first draft that was handwritten of the Declaration of the White Buffalo Nation, and I apologize to my Lakota relatives for being so bold, but as I said, I was told by my boss, whose armpit I walk under, that she was tired of waiting, and that she didn't only come to the Lakota to help the Lakota, but the whole world. And so she so this was the first draft, and it stands because it was spoken. On this Mayan calendar long count day, 13.0.11.39, also known as January 2nd, 2024, let it be known that we have formally formed the private White Buffalo Nation located in Nuwausegovia, original caretakers of Mother Earth's free living body's home. I, Seava, am the official grandmother, the Casas and Missus, the orator for the sovereigns, perpetually reigning, to whom we pledge allegiance. Grandmother Skywoman, Grandmother Earth, and Grandmother Moon, whose sovereignty is eternal and unextinguishable for perpetuity, and who are the living law of the waterverse. We recognize the great law of peace and to Rawampum, and invoke our right as savage barbarians, people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, and red, and our relatives of the air, water, soil, and elements, to form a tribal nation, to operate as a matrilineal clan-based nation in alliance with and learning from the original matrilineal nations, and we stand as living beings. As a sovereign matrilineal savage barbarian nation for the people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, and red, and the relatives of the air, water, earth, and elements, we stand with as sovereign savages, protected by the Camel's Eye, Eye of Isis, and Eagle Bolt treaties, and I demand as a daughter of Great Spirit, Skywoman, our right to be only subject to her law, which is the supreme law of this and all land, her free living body, and throughout her mother Skywoman's dream. We take refuge at the foot of the tree of peace and bury all weapons of war, be they physical, mental, or spiritual, and live in the great peace as we are for the mending of the hoop and healing of the earth. We honor and learn the highest truths of all original sacred paths and declare we are officially declared sovereign under the sovereignty of Mother Earth, whose daughter I am. And then I realized that we, like I said, we consider the Rainbow White Buffalo Nation and the Rainbow Buffalo Nation, so to speak, as children of the White Buffalo. And so I rewrote the Declaration. And I have to say that this has to happen with Martina and Alex and the elders, because I'm handing it to them, so to speak. This is an alliance. I'm on behalf of White Buffalo Calf Women, So anyway, it's pretty much similar, but I'm going to read it. declaration of the White Buffalo Nation, Rainbow White Buffalo Nation, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation. On this Mayan calendar long count date, 13.0.11.7.10, also known as March 23rd, 2024, let it be known that we have formed the private White Rainbow Buffalo Nations located in Nuwa Segovia, territory of the Nuwa people. We, like the buffalo, are inherently nomadic as we travel on the living body of our grandmother Earth. I, Seava, as the official founding grandmother, am the descendant of an original tribe, and I'm a voice for the Casas and Missus, the sovereigns perpetually reigning, to whom we pledge allegiance, Grandmother Skywoman, Grandmother Earth, and Grandmother Moon, whose sovereignty is eternal and unextinguishable for perpetuity, for they are the living law of the waterverse, and we are her embodiment. I do at their behest call all who are here for the mending of the hoop and healing of the earth to affirm alliance with the White Buffalo Nation, Rainbow White Buffalo Nation, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation. Again, we recognize the great law of peace and to Wampum and invoke our right as savage barbarian people of 4 directions, white, black, yellow, and red, and our relatives of the air, water, soil, and elements to form a tribal nation, to operate as a matrilineal clan-based nation alliance with, and learning from the original matrilineal nations who abide by and in Sky Women's great law of peace, and we stand as living beings. I think it's all pretty much the same. But then the question becomes, and that's what the council starts to happen, and you can ask Jeanette, you can ask yourselves, Alex and Martina, how do we actually pull this off so that suddenly the land here isn't under U.S. jurisdiction and we help free Unshimaka? How do we do that? How do we do that so that all of the, so we don't have to be paying their, so we can exercise our right to travel? How do we actually do that? How do we actually do it? How do we get to the point where one does not ask the white man what one is to do, ask permission, one commands? And so that's where we are. And thank you very much for tolerating me. And whoever is led by spirit to speak next. Moon, if you'd like to introduce yourself, I would ask you to do so at this point. But it's a working meeting. And then, as I said before, oh, and also I'm going to reiterate, please, everyone who's listening to this now and in the future, to support the work that Martina is doing, please, you can donate to her work through Looking Horse Lois at gmail.com, through PayPal. Every little bit helps. Let's make sure that our elders aren't starving and dying of heat stroke, et cetera, et cetera. And let's fix this. These are the true royals of the Americas. We, you know, and this is the pole shift, the restoration of that which is correct. And there's a Mormon cricket walking on my rug. I'm gonna have to go get it. So I put the feather back into the circle. But that's Lois Looking Horse at gmail.com through PayPal.
Thank you, sister. Welcome, grandfather. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
There we go. Greetings, all my relations. It's really hot here. And I have Lyme's disease, so I'm getting tired in the heat. Anyway, I'd like to say hello. And I really don't know what else to say other than everything's all upside down. Everything. Learned some things there. Here in the fiction of Canada. You know, that place that's above your northern Mohawk border. Yeah. Well, I'm Mohawk. I am from the fire. I'm a few embers myself, but I can still get it up there, you know, still get angry. But I've really tried to maintain my ways, peace, and friendship. And I've tried to mend the trade and commerce, but apparently the fiction's like it broke and our people don't quite know how to deal with it. So I'm just waiting. That's all. Just waiting. My message is always to the clan mothers. You have original venue rights held with me. My mother told me who I am, and I'm here. Okay? Your original venue rights are guaranteed in time. All of our treaties were oral. Those that were recorded on skins, and those were the first things that the missionaries came for. Anyway, beyond the reality of where we are, just been learning some stuff about the AFN and how they're asserting self-government and acting outside of the inherent leadership. And yes, the royals. I am him. Okay? Crown of the Crown land. Don't forget it. Don't abuse it. Share it. Know it. We have a historic right. My bloodline goes back on this land to Peru, matriarchally, 50,000 years. But they ran out of money and they didn't want to do my full genealogy that they said. Anyway, reality is that original venue is the jurisdiction. Anything else is occupation by hostile corporate takeover, Genesis side, and clanocide. So, you know, that's good, right? Got something to work with. Nothing to work with. Anyway, reality always outweighs the fiction. I don't care about your damn treaty number 1 to 1,000. I really don't care about any of that because it's all done by force. Anything that's done by force is a treatise, is a bad man contract, gives no relief to women or children, doesn't recognize them as living beings in the possession of the God stream by creation. So I'm just waiting. I'm carving pipes. I'm trying to get my health back. I was poisoned on lead, mercury. Fillings in my teeth were rotting. I was going loco. But I still couldn't create harm. I still couldn't do harm. Still won't do harm. Because that's not what's going to feed the children, protect the women, and give men things to do with their damn hands, besides what they're up to. So you can call me the old man. That's an honor, since there's so few of us. Anyway, beyond it, your rights in time are by right. They're given by authority that leads to a stream, that takes you to a tree that stands the test of time. All things done in time, all words spoken in time is time. It's the proof of emotion. Emotion in time. Yeah. So my ancestors screwed up. I don't know how. No one will tell me. Mohawks won't talk to me. Apparently, I'm a little white boy who should go home. End of the day, I'm still waiting for my relations from the Onondaga, the Oneida, Tuscarora, Cayuga, all of you. I want to know who's taking the place of my fire. Who's in your lodges? Whose lodges are you hosting? they're responsible for all of the darkness on this land the last 500 years. Jesuits, Rosicrucians, Templars, and of course the Masons, Freemasons, free of masonry, I think is what it means, because they're doing everything else but masonry. They've infiltrated every single one of our movements. They have done everything that they can to make sure that they get in the way of your good governance. I have never signed anything with Canada or the United States that said they were allowed to govern me, but they tortured me. And they have done that, and they come back, and they always come back because they like my blood. End of the day, you take a lesson from that with the missing and murdered. Because what's been going on, what they've been enabling, the harvesting of our people, that's got to end. Well, I was a strong voice, didn't know too much, but I started everything in 2008 with the Q movement that grew around me. It was overtaken and infiltrated by the WEF, the CIA, and FBI, RCMP, CIA North, all of the fictions. And at the end of the day, I told them, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be your poster boy. You tortured me, starved me, starved my children, damaged my brothers and sisters. I don't know who my people are. Oh, I know about my people, but I don't know who they are. Their names aren't known to me, and I don't have a memory anymore because of heavy metal poisoning. But I just want to say, I'm waiting. I am the turtle that ran down the road to see what was happening. All those things that were Q back in 2008 was me. All of those statements. When they asked me questions and I answered their questions, I made sure I gave them a moral compass first. I put that in their hand. I went, there it is right there. And a moral compass is a circle, and a circle, and a circle, into a circle, into a fire. And every time I make a decision, I look at that moral compass and I see the two-spirit, and I see the warriors, and I see the men, and I see the elders, and I see the women, and then I see the children. And then the fire there at the middle is the great creator of all things good, bad, right, and wrong. We once spoke with them. It's not him. That's fiction. It's not her. It's them. They gave us life. The serpents have negative blood. Oh, negative blood. Snakes have positive blood because they're the creation of Quetzalcoatl, aka Enki, you know? Sort past all the fiction that you've learned in the Bible and all of that stuff, and see that our stories, our ways, our customs, our first world. They came here 500 years ago and started this shit, and that's all it is shit. They taught us nothing. They gave us nothing. They took everything. And at the end of the day, they stole our identities, assimilated us, made us into John Q. Public. We're nobody. We're extinct. Well, I've called bullshit on that since 2008. I did enough research. I looked around, been around the block, saw what was going on. Survived some things that shouldn't be. saw things that you won't believe. And I told everyone who would listen, and no one believed me. Well, I'm still here. My body's broken. I have Lyme's disease. I have tumors on my damn body. I can't feed myself. And this government will not give me reparations for torture. You can't act in our interest. You can't act on our land. That's what I'm famous for saying. I don't know about you, but I never signed on for this occupation. My family was destroyed. Absolutely 100% destroyed, tortured, abused, called down, called out, beaten up, gang stalked, all of it. So they don't like me because I stir up a bee's nest when I talk like this. Too damn bad. All of our children are suffering. We should be the richest people in the world as the original owners of the original venue, the matriarchs and me. I'd say Empress, but no. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. So at the end of the day, I'm a two-spirit. There you go. That solves the problem, doesn't it? Don't have an Empress? Okay, fine. You're supposed to put one forward. You're supposed to know my bloodlines. You're supposed to know who Montezuma was, who Quetzalcoatl was, and how all this began, but you won't. You won't know. Don't feel bad for not knowing. I didn't know. I was in a vacuum. I was told I was white, not to forget it. Do I look white to you? Yeah, white. Gray hair, silver, white, some brown. But I turn red in the sunlight, as you can see. And being sick for so many years with heavy metal poisoning, I fell upon bentonite. And I'll say it again, bentonite. I'll spell it if I can remember how to. Bentonite, bentonite. Then there's zeolites. I haven't encountered those yet, but I'm very excited to try them because they remove the heavy metals that bentonite doesn't. And zeolites remove radiation. There's a little screen here. See that screen? Yeah, right there, that thing. Yeah. That produces a lot of radiation. You can cook an egg between two cell phones. So the reality is that we're being polluted. Our skies are overrun with cloud seeding we don't need. We've had literally, I don't know, I've lost count, close to 18 thunderstorms here in Winnipeg. We're in a heat wave now. I don't know what the humidity is. But at the end of the day, it's not the way it was. Back in the day, we had an average of 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, if you can get with that system. I was grown up with Fahrenheit, inches, foot. They changed everything, and the teachers who were teaching us didn't want to know it because they weren't paid to know it. I was also taught French and still don't have a clue. So, où est poulet avec Suzette, Henri Leclerc? I don't know. So pardon my ignorance. I have a lot of it. It's called investing. So if you're not invested in, don't take anything I say personally. I'm a smart ass and mouth, an old man, a sovereign terrorist, emperor, high king, king chief, and inherent chief. My tribe is one. That's me. I don't include anybody else in my tribe. When they come, they be acknowledged. Great. Until they come, I'm waiting right here. So there it is. That's who I am. And like I say, the original rights are by recognition to the right in time. We had over 3,600 trading posts up here in the north alone. Don't let them tell you that, oh, we rubbed sticks together and we were naked and, you know, we came across the waters 2,000 years ago, like you can still find on the internet today. We've been here a long, long time, and it's time we took back our affairs and take back what they've stolen. And we find a way to make them stand for the conscience of their crimes. I'm not wasting my time. My family lives to very, very old. But you see, when you're like in my bloodline, they destroy you as a child. They keep you hungry. They keep you sick. They make up diseases so that they can give you drugs. And then when you end up looking up the drugs that they gave you, find out most of that was for behavior. So no, I'm patient. Creator gave me a gift. That's consciousness, awareness, logic, reasoning, and compassion. I see our people every day. I'm right here in a great big reserve called Winnipeg. I wanted to show you something that came out of the street construction. Let me just take you for a walk real quick, and you can see right there, that's the street construction, and the spot in front of the cedar is where I found this. You got to consider what I'm saying. You don't know what I'm saying the water mains in the north end of Winnipeg are all made out of lead. 13% of every city in Canada and the United States has lead pipes where the poor people, the Indians, and the so-called immigrants, migrants live, stay. Oh, right here, let me know. Oh, okay, it's not there. Hi, Joji. How you doing, bud? Stay. Stay. Okay. Bloody. Visiting my family. Children change so much because they're toxic and they're damaged. And I feel most people around me are exactly the same. I showed this to the white man next door, and I told him, you know, all the lead pipes and oh, I didn't know. Okay, then he changes the subject. They don't care. You know, they're drinking it too. Obviously, they're damaged. So when I came upon this old man across the street in Point Douglas here, he showed me, gave to me, and told me to do something about it. But to tell people about the lead pipes, he gave me a blueprint of the north end, all the way over from just past Watts, all the way over to the legislature, all the way over to the west end. All of the north end is lead water mains. That's why we are not free. That's why we're crime ridden. Anyway, as you can see, I'm used to talking on phone, not on camera. But the reality is that that blueprint disappeared. Okay, it disappeared when I went shopping with my girls for food, for what little we could afford, because we were being punished for being indigenous. You know, I made
I know, I'm
no
being
agreement.
punished too.
Hey,
I'm being punished too. They want this land. They
well,
don't
yeah.
like what I have to say. I can't find
Well,
any work other than surveys. They,
well,
you know,
I'm
when we
I'm
grew hemp,
unemployable.
yeah, when we grew hemp in what, 2019, 2018, thanks to teachings from Alex and others. Thank you, Alex. We made $22,000 US. They changed the law. I mean, and I know people say, oh, they didn't do it because of you. You're darn right they did, because they listen to everything. They know what we're doing. They weren't going to let me become economically viable as a nation. So they changed the law from here, from Congress said hemp is less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC. The USDA and the DEA, you know how pissed they were at all the hemp growing across Turtle Island that they couldn't destroy? So they changed the definition of hemp to less than 0.3% total THC. Alex knows in 2019, they came and they made me burn half of my harvest. They made me burn the Holy Grail flower.
Wow.
Literally, that's what my flower was called.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's alien subject matter jurisdiction. Can you say that?
Yes.
Alien subject matter jurisdiction. Get off our land, get off our land, get off our land until they do. That's all you can do.
Well, I tell you, in the movie, in the improvisational movie that we're all part of, I want to do the Magdalene tour. Eventually, I want to go to my ancestors' land and follow her footsteps, and then take a boat to France and follow and go to the cave that she lived behind the waterfall. I want to be there. I had visions of it. I just really want to see it. And then, and I'm already recruiting grandma. I've already talked to Civico about it. Then we're going to go, and it's just a movie. And I'm going to go on behalf of my higher Vesta, goddess of the hearth, who was one of the caretakers of Earth before the fall. And on her behalf, and we're going to charge them for everything they've done. I've heard they've already moved the gold, but everything, as Eagle says, all of the wealth of the Vatican belongs to the original nations. We're going for it. And I tell the poop, because they listen to everything. It's like, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And I don't mind going on a trip to Rome. I've never been. So anyway, that's on my bucket list.
I just wanted to remind you.
And
I just wanted to remind you about the fall of Rome. Most people don't know the fall of Rome was caused, in fact, by water service of lead pipes. When the people figured out they were being dumbed down and poisoned, and that the water that they got was carried in lead, and the water that the elites got were in pristine ceramic tubes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that kind of like, you know,
I gotta
caused
find
the whole
out about
place
our
to burn
pipes
down.
here in this town.
Hey?
That never occurred to me. I've got to find out
Yeah.
about the pipe here in this town. I'm going to ask us to pause for a moment. Moon, you've laid a lot of this is the best presentation you've brought to council so far. I'm really happy. It's been very clear and really, I'm very happy. And I'd like to ask particularly our other elders. I'd like to ask Martina, and I'd like to introduce you. We have the clan mother of with all due respect to everybody else within the Tzolk'in, I consider Martina the clan mother. And I know she's the clan mother of the Looking Horse, and she is, you know, she's willing to take the heat. She's willing to call out what is not right because she cares. And so on behalf of White Buffalo Calf Women and her allies, all of our ancestors, you know, We couldn't do this without Martina and Alex and all of us coming together. And this is, we've waited a long time.
Sister Seava, we do have a hard stop in exactly 5 minutes.
Okay, so now everyone can gather their questions. And if you want to send them to me so we can have some order potentially, I mean, but I like to let spirit roll. I would ask if anyone feels called to do the closing song offering. Or if anyone has anything really burning that they need to share before we close. Otherwise, I'll sing the Strong Women's song on behalf of all the missing and murdered and ask you to join me if you know it. All right, I'm gonna count down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, it looks like Martina's not here and Alex isn't here. Or otherwise, Kate, unless you have a song. All right, if you don't know this song, this is called the Strong Women's Warrior Song. Hey,
We say Nakanagana in my language. Nakanagana means all my relations. Yeah.
Miigwech to the round table.
Yes, miigwech.
Miigwech, sister.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Yeah. Bamapi. Let's see, Bamapi. We'll talk again soon.
Hi.
I would like to mention that we are putting in the chat, except I've lost the link. Let me go get that really quick. Oh, there it goes. Okay. This is where we're headed for the next 2 hours. On One World, there's going to be a co-creation Unite for Peace. A Unite for Peace co-creation circle for the next 2 hours. And then we are hosting their after chat. So we will be at that link for the next 2 hours and then back in here after that. So you're welcome to join. This is a big movement being formed out of the Unity Earth, Brand Earth, Purpose Earth, One World networks. And this is the first of the Unite for Peace co-creation circles tonight. We would love to have y'all over there. And of course, we're hosting the after chat afterwards. So this is going to be for the next 2 hours.
Is that the HTTPS? Is that the signs-network Zoom US with the J898?
Yeah,
is that link?
Just click on the link and it'll take you over there.
All right.
And I'm still trying to
make
stuff work here. So if you do want to go, you just can click on that link. It'll take you directly to the room. They should be opening in 6 minutes. They open at 7. Of course, I'm speaking Central Time, so 7 to 9. We will be back here for for the after chat at 9:15. So you guys, if you'd like to go, just click on over there. If not, we're in this room every day. This room opens at 2 o'clock. I put earlier in the chat the different beacons that we especially Tuesday for the kinship way with Becky Big Canoe. Would definitely come back for that, because we're working in a union with the this national movement going on here with Sister Seava, also working that in with kinship way.
Yes, it's a good way to implement the clan system. Shawnda, as soon as you can get me the material so I can post it to our channel, that would be really good. We have people waiting.
Okay, there's all of that is in a big Google Drive folder. I just need to get you the link. We upload every night all the recordings.
Yeah.
I'll get it to you later. I just need to get it. It's been a long week. You know, we host 3 or 4 programs a day in here, so it we should take care of that on the weekend. Okay, sis, I'll meet you guys over there. Oh, the link's not working. Let me go grab it again. Hang on.
Would you? Okay, good.
Yeah, I might have goofed up on that. Let me see.
Anything else from anyone who's still in the room while we're still all together?
There it goes. That looks like a good link.
All right. All right, Skin and Goa, Eagle and Moon, and we'll talk in a bit as well, okay?
And you guys are welcome back here. Welcome back here anytime. So.
Right. Well, we'll discuss. Like I say, the teaching. It's getting down to nitty gritty. It's getting down to nitty gritty. You know.
Okay, so I'm back up Zoom tech over there. Lisa, I need to close the room. So let's go, guys.
All right, Joksha, everybody. Skin and Goa.
Okay. Wado, much love.